Hello, friends. Welcome to your motivational Gen Z and Millennial Expert podcast. I am your host. My name is Dr. Jason Wiggins. Thank you very much for being here. We have been doing this for quite some time now. This is our 164th episode. So please feel free to review the previous episodes and drop a like if you're interested in getting to know more. So thank you very much. This motivational podcast is for Gen Zs and millennials specifically. However, most of the content that we provide is applicable to all the different age groups, baby boomers, traditionalists. You have your alphas. So therefore, we have the ability to strike for all audiences. So it is great to be here. And as we get started here, it's the first of the new year, 2025. We have been doing podcasts since probably 2020. And the one thing that stands out still to this day is perspective. And when you start the new year, it's about perspective. It's about clarity. Well, in Southern California, unfortunately, we have had a lot of clarity recently. We've had the wildfires just north of where I reside in the LA area, Los Angeles. There's been numerous fires, unfortunately, catastrophic results, houses burning. Some people have died, and it really is a shame. And our heart and souls go out to these individuals that have lost their homes, and we will continue to reach out to them and try to help any way we can. And I hope you would do the same. So again, thank you very much for being here. And let's get started. As I mentioned, it's the new year. It's a time to really get positive, get motivated. And there is nothing better than your motivational Gen Z and millennial expert to help you get where you want to go. And as we start the new year, I'd like to kind of bring some insight to what we're going to talk about today. And we're going to talk about focusing on the positive, gaining perspectives, recognizing strategies to get ahead, and surrounding yourself with great people. These four aspects revolve around one significant characteristic trait that we all have that others can unfortunately impact at times. But the other four that surround this will help us get through that and not let that be a detriment. And I was talking to a gentleman not too long ago about dignity. Somebody and how they can affect your dignity. And now in 2025, we have to think about, how can we control our own well-being? And what's the impact of others when it comes to our impact on controlling ourselves? Well, let's look at it. Your dignity. How can people affect your dignity? Well, simple. They can trash talk you. They can cyberbully you. They could be a boss. They could be a subordinate. They could be many different folks that can affect your overall well-being. And this gentleman I was talking to, he said the one thing that we all have, regardless of money, how successful we are, where we go from here, and what we've done in the past, is our dignity. And I thought about that, and it's resonated with me since. Why? Because if somebody can impact the way you feel about yourself, which in essence is what dignity stands for, then how does that affect your future approach? So how important is it to keep your dignity intact? And that's what the four revolving discussions we're going to talk about today that talk about focusing on the positives, gaining perspective, recognizing strategies to get ahead, and surrounding yourself with great people. So for me, I feel my dignity can't be shaken. Well, why is that? It is because I have a profound sense of who I am, what I can accomplish, and what I've accomplished. Now, as Gen Z and millennials, you could be in the heart of your career. You could be a successful entrepreneur, CEO, or you could be towards the tail end or the beginning of your career and the tail end. But what defines us as individuals is the perception of our own well-being and how we sense our own dignity and the characteristics that are surrounding us, and how people have a detrimental impact if you let them. Now, that's the key focus that we're going to talk about today. If you let them. And if you're unstable or you feel insecure, then yes, your dignity can be shaken. And if it has been shaken, that's okay. So let's start looking at how we can move past if our dignity has been shaken. First is focusing on the positives. Regardless of who we are, what we do, what our background is, what our monetary social status is, those should not impact who we are and what we believe that is important to us. It's that impact on us. So if you look at it in a retrospective way, if you're looking, from the highest mountain and you're looking down on yourself, what do you see? Is it somebody you're proud of? If it is somebody you're proud of, then guess what? Whatever anybody else says about you, if they try to reduce the dignity you have, it doesn't matter, because your own self-perception of who you are and focusing on the positives is going to raise you up, raise you to a point of no return. Why? Because you feel good about yourself. You feel good about what you've accomplished. You feel good about what you're going to accomplish. Maybe you're a successful business person. Maybe you're a great family person. You put your friends ahead of yourself. You continue to provide to charitable organizations. You volunteer. Whatever it is that you have achieved and the possibilities that are lying ahead of you, then if you're focusing on the positives, you understand the impact you have made while you're on this earth. And that is where nobody can take that away from you. We all have positives. No matter when the lows get too low and the highs get too high, you have to keep things in perspective. You have to continue to gain perspective, clarity. And that's the number 2 focus around dignity. We talked about focusing on the positive. The second is gaining perspective. Perspective about who we are, where we're going, and understanding the clarity of our mission, the motivation behind us, our success rate. Success is in the eyes of the beholder. So who is the beholder? You, me. What we think about ourselves, that's the beholder. You can blanket out the noise. You can get off social media. You can turn off the news and have your own inner focus about gaining a perspective that is real. Yes, a perspective that is real. So in 2025, we all have what we deem this is what we want to do better. Maybe this is our quote New Year's resolution. Some don't make resolutions anymore, and that's fine. Why? Because maybe you never adhered to them, or you just continue to be the very best person you can within each and every day, hour, minute of the week, of the year, and that is okay. And for me, I have a simple resolution every year. Continue to get hydrated. Drink more water. Why? Because water is healthy for you, and honestly, I don't drink enough. So that is my New Year's resolution, if anybody is asking. But if you can gain perspective, you can gain realistic insight in who you are, what your goals are, what your perspective about yourself is, then guess what? Nobody can rain on your parade, and nobody can review and damage your dignity. Only you, me, can focus on the positives while gaining a clarity perspective. And that's what I want to ensure that everybody leaves today, this podcast, this YouTube, wherever you may be listening or watching. The key is about finding ways for you to get ahead the right way. So we've talked about focusing on the positive, gaining perspective, strengthening your dignity through yourself. But the other aspect is also recognizing strategies to get ahead. What does that mean? Does that mean in business? Does that mean in life? Is that as a family person? Is that in monetary value? Whatever it may be, it's about what is in your perceived ability today to do what you need to do. Is that getting out of debt? Well, then we got to take the steps to get past that. And that's about recognizing those strategies to get ahead. Example, it was 15 years ago. I was extremely high in debt. I lived in downtown San Diego in a mid-rise, living life, going to San Diego Padre games. And if you're not a Padre fan, that is fine. If you're a Yankee fan, a Red Sox fan, or you're from, a different country and you like soccer, whatever it may be, it was an experience. But I was spending more money than I was making. I was getting in debt. I had a new car. I had a new place to live. I was spending season tickets on sporting events. But I was living above my means. So I wasn't being someone that was gaining realistic perspective at that time. So what I ended up doing was recognizing strategies to get ahead. So I left the mid-rise apartment. I gave up the season tickets and I moved. I moved across town where the rent was much cheaper. I could start paying off my car, start paying off my debt, and becoming debt-free. And that took strategy. And what is that strategy is? Some people call it the snowball effect with David Ramsey. That's another topic for a different day. But the way that works is as you get ahead, you continue to pay off the smallest credit card, and then you pay off the amount of the next credit card, and you keep rolling all that money until your final credit card and your final payments are made. And that's called being financially secure. So that is just one strategy to get ahead within the financial market. But if you're looking to get a new job, start a new career, then what is it going to take to get you there? It's going to take hard work, dedication, and that starts with recognizing the positives that you have right now and the realistic time frame with the financial well-being to get you where you need to go. And again, as I talked about financial insecurity issues, I was still going to school. I was in my doctorate program, and I ran out of money. So I had to take a different road. And that road included going back to community college, studying drama, and forbearing my student loan because I couldn't pay it. And then when I finally was in the position to start paying back my loans, I paid back just the interest, and then I also continued to pay for my doctoral program at the same time. So I had to prepare financially to get to that point. And that is the same thing about where you may stand right now. Maybe you want to go back to school. Maybe you're currently in a custody battle with maybe an ex-spouse, whatever it could be, and maybe that's currently maybe your priority is getting your kids back. And that's a strategy to get you to your end means. And that is, what do I dream of wanting to be? And a dream is nothing but a dream unless you have a strategy to back it up, to find the end to the mean. And the end to the mean is, this is where I see myself in the next 2 years, 3 years, 5 years. There is no certain amount of time that you have to allot. You have to look at the strategy to get ahead. Now, a key important part of that strategy is the fourth attribute around dignity. We talked about focusing on the positive, gaining perspective, recognizing strategies to get ahead. The last one, but by far not the least, is surround yourself with good people, with people that want you to succeed. They look at your well-being and they know what you can achieve. They believe in you. They don't try to get you to do things that are counterproductive. And those are the people that can be mentors. Those are the people that maybe you mentor. They scratch your back, you scratch their back. And that way is everybody can be successful. And if you have true friends that are looking after your overall well-being, they see what's the good in you. They are focusing on the positives about you. They have perspective about who you are, and they believe in you. They understand that whatever strategies that you need to do to move forward, you can focus on that because they are going to support you. And the people that support you will make or break your success. And that is why in 2025, we have to have a clarity. We have to wipe the fog out of the mirror. We have to look and say, this is going back to a Disney. A mirror, mirror on the wall. What can I do to be successful of them all? Well, it starts with focusing on the positives. Don't worry about what people are saying about you. Social media, it doesn't matter. Get off social media. If it's negative news, don't turn on the news. If it's negative people, tune them out. Remember, the best cure for being sad, the best cure for negative feelings is a smile, a laugh, a clear view of maybe you're not where you want to be today, but maybe what you want to be tomorrow is right in front of you.